Hi guys, today I'm gonna do a follow-up on the first and second video I made about my G15DK Asus ROG pre-built PC, which is not really pre-built anymore. I modified some stuff, but as you can see, I had it a water cooler, a different set of RAMs, 2x8 or 2x16 for 32 gigs I mean. And I changed this fan that was in the back, and I put this fan that I already had, a Gentle Typhoon from I don't remember the brand. It's a really good fan, and this one I bought on Amazon just simply to have a fan that gives more CFM. Don't mind the wiring is a bit of a mess. So first for this fan, I put in a configuration where it will like put air in the case instead. I mean, this fan, as you can see, the way it's made, it's like all small holes like this. They're not made to put a fan. That's why putting the rad up there wasn't really an option. Anyway, it was too thick. It would like block the RAM. So what I ended up doing is using a long screw that would go past this part basically and go straight to one of these holes, and I just like strong arm it and just put it in basically. Ghetto as fuck. The same with this one. Somehow it was a 80mm, just like the case is supposed to have, but it wasn't fitting, so I did the same thing. Like it's holding on really well. It's not really a big deal for me. It's not about being pretty for me, it's just that I want it to work and be cool so it lasts long. Someone asked me, I'm gonna change subject. Someone asked me about the motherboard, how to remove it. That's what I wanted to do at first, to remove the motherboard and just put it in a better case I had. And more of a normal case, because this one is really messed up. There's things that are made different to just annoy you. I removed all the screws and it still wouldn't like budge. This motherboard, it would stay on, so I had to like put some force into it, but it still wouldn't move out. So what I ended up doing is just leave it there, because for warranty reasons I didn't want to like break it. So I just put it there, and that's why I put the rad there. I had like my plans for my other case, but that wouldn't work, of course. Had a lot of questions about the motherboard and just the whole piece in general, because it had like a plate to support the graphics card and also split it from the upper section of the case. I removed that. There's a ton of like small screws and different size screws somewhere in the front panel, which is easy to remove. Just tabs there and another tab there, and you just like put some force into it and it's gonna remove itself. Just keep in mind there's a tiny wire that goes to the power button, and it's really, the wire is not long, so if you remove it completely and put the front panel back, it's a pain in the ass to get it back and also put the wire in the power button where it's supposed to be. It's really a pain in the ass. This part is really hard to remove also. I just thought it would be better to just leave it there. It's not really a big thing that I want to remove anyway. It's not in my way. I did the same thing with those. I put the screw for the fan and remove the front panel. put a screw through there basically to hold the rad. There isn't, just to let you know guys, there's no holes to put a fan there at all. Like, it's all like this mesh with small holes, so I had to like strong arm it again and just put like put it in a jank way, I would say, because I had no choice. But it works really well. Only issue anything I don't like is the space between those, because that means like the air from the graphics card that it emits just goes through there and warms up the radiator probably. It's not that big of an issue, to be honest. I have been having like really good temperatures so far. 10 or 15 degrees down on most situations, idle or load. I find out that with the water cooling, which is what it does most of the time, the temps go up, but it stays the way it doesn't like keep going up with a water cooling system. That's what it does most of the time. It's more for longevity, I guess, because running it cooler will make it last longer. With the stock heatsink is I think it was a HyperX 412 cooler or something like that. Cooler Master HyperX, something like that. Cheap cooler, in a way you saw it in the first video. This cooler gave me temps like 90 degrees, but the PC would never shut down, even if it was running pretty warm for my taste. It was doable, but keep in mind the CPU was boosting for no reason. Like, was overvolting, which is really not necessary. And basically I ended up removing the boost and just putting 4.2 gigahertz. And by putting that target of a gigahertz setting, the motherboard and CPU would just like put the voltage for that. It would like, for myself I have 1.1 volts, which is perfectly fine, and it runs way cooler that way. So it's 1.1 volt, 4.2 gigahertz, which is plenty, because when it was boosting at 4.8. So that's 600 megahertz difference. It's not what's gonna make me run a game or not, basically. So the trade-off is better for longevity. So that's pretty much it. Besides that, the other drives that I had, yeah, there's two things I want to add. Had like SSDs and hard drives. I put them all in there with wires and shit. They won't move anyway, so it's not really a big deal. I put it all in there. I put like 4 drives additional, and that still works. There's space over there to like plug them in anyway. There's even room, I think, for more. One wires, okay. Other thing I wanted to add was oh yeah, there's this connector for 4-pin for fan, and there's wait a second, there's another one I think somewhere. And there's this one. So basically there's only 2 4-pins, which is really a big issue for me because I had those 2 fans and those 2 others. So I use splitters basically. 4-pin splitters to basically put out everything. I use 2 of them splitters. Works perfectly fine. I can still control the fan speed. So that's pretty much it for the pre-build. Let me know if you have any more questions, and see you next time, guys. Thank you for watching this one.